Hello, my name is David Spence. Today we're going to talk about Rentz spark plugs. You'll find on the internet not a whole lot of information on them. Sometimes you'll find little short videos, but we're going to give you a little bit more background information and actually show them in use in the next few minutes. First of all, what you've probably not seen is an actual Rentz spark plug box. So this is the box that came from the factory. Obviously, more than one spark plug fits in this, but this is how they shipped them. As you can see on the side, they were made in Atlanta, Georgia. They are made in general in the 1920s for the type of plugs we're looking at. May have been earlier, may have been a little later, but very popular in the 1920s. So inside the large box that we've got here, we've got a whole series of small boxes. So the actual plugs you would have purchased would have come in a little box like this. And these are very unique spark plugs. You see on the side here, this particular illustration shows it with an extra electrode on the side that you could change out. But reality is I've never seen one with that on it. So what we're going to do is open it and show you exactly how the spark plug came in the little box here. So gently open this up. And you notice, even being gentle and stuff, these are very old boxes. That one already has a little flap that's off of it. But inside, you get your plug. And it would come wrapped with a little sheet of instructions, and you got your plug like this. Had a little cardboard tube on the bottom to protect it from damage, hopefully. I'll set that down. And I'm going to let our camera person try to get a shot of exactly what the little notice says that came with the spark plug. And unfortunately, of course, as we said, it's kind of wrinkled from its age, but we're going to let you see what that actually looks like. And I'll hold on to it so you can see what it says. Spark plugs are claimed not to foul. They're supposed to be usable in engines that burn a little bit of oil. So that's what theoretically they're for. So if we take off our little bottom here, a little twisting motion, you can see that it also came originally with a little gasket, probably asbestos filled, definitely copper. Believe it or not, you can still get those gaskets nowadays. And you got your entire plug, and this is a plug you can actually take apart. So if I take and unscrew this, you can disassemble this spark plug. Now, as I said, these are new old stock, but you see we'd have to clean it up a little bit, got a little rust on it to actually use it. But there you see the spark plug itself. The bottom portion of the plug looks like this. It says Rentz real nicely on the side. The upper portion of the plug that it screws in does not come apart as far as the Lighthouse portion of it, but of course you've got your little terminal here. You unscrew, you put your spark plug wire here, but you can also, besides that, take apart this portion of the top of the plug. So you take this off and you disassemble this, and there's a little washer here. So the plug comes apart completely, the idea being that you could clean it. So we'll put our little plug back together in general, and then we'll look at what else is interesting about the plug. Put that back on here. Now obviously normally there'd be more than finger tight, but this is finger tight so you can see what's going on. If you look right inside of the Lighthouse, you'll see the top of the real spark plug, and you'll see the top of this portion right here. And I can actually lift that up and leave a gap in there if I want to. Or I can put it all the way down and have no gap. Now, of course, the Rentz intensifier, by having the gap, they're saying, well, that will cause it to jump the spark there, intensify the spark, and burn the oil. The other thing that's neat about it, though, is you can leave that open, and you can see if the spark plug actually works. And if you want to, you can just leave it open and operate it that way all the time. So that's how the spark plug itself is set up. Having looked at the plug, the next thing we're going to do for you is we're going to take and actually start a vehicle that has the plugs on top of it. These are for 7/8 inch plugs, so they don't fit a lot of cars. Rentz made them in more than one size, but I've only really found a lot of the 7/8. So they're reasonably, I don't know, I guess they were reasonably easy to find 30 years ago. You can find them nowadays, but you usually have to pay a fair amount for them. You know, it's pretty common to have to pay something on the order of $40 to $70, I have found. 30 years ago, they were much more reasonable. So if you give us a couple moments, we're going to start a car and we're going to show these things operating, and we're actually going to show them operating in the dark. There you have it. Rentz Lighthouse Spark Plugs, a little bit of history, how you take them apart, and seeing them in use, and why they're really cool in the dark.